Hello everyone. This is the video that's going to lay down all the harsh truths about medicine, all the things that people don't really talk about, and the less glamorized aspects of medical school. If you're new to this channel, I'm Alaa, a third year medical student, and your study buddy who shows you a realistic day in the life of a med student and prepares you with top tips to acing your studies here and there. In this video, I'm going to be covering all the harsh truths about med school, or in other words, the things about medicine that are a reality of the course. Things that you're going to have to face as a student and is part of your day-to-day life, and maybe things that people don't really talk about as much. They're not necessarily bad things, they're simply, as the phrase says, harsh truths. Things that I personally think, knowing now while you're applying to med school or if you've just started, is going to make your life way easier because you're going to mentally prepare yourself for these things. Now, without any further ado, let's get started. The first harsh truth. You will have to adapt and change your study method like crazy. Forget about writing notes, forget about reading your books, forget about passively studying, forget about slowly absorbing information from classes and then rewriting it until it sticks in your mind for your exams. You'll have to adapt and change your study method like crazy. All the things you've known before from A levels, from GCSEs, from IB, from IGCSEs, you're gonna have to scratch that all and start from a new slate. Think about how you can efficiently change and adapt your study methods to be able to cover the huge amount of content in medical school and pass your exams safely and have enough knowledge to be a future doctor, because we need to remember that that's the aim. It's not just to pass exams. These things might have worked amazing for you during the last few years. I think the main reason that they worked is because you had time to do those study methods. You had time to put that work in, whereas actually you can spend way less time learning the same amount of information, and that is what you need in med school. I've done countless videos on Anki, I've done countless videos on how I study for med school, which I'm going to link all down below. But the main thing that I would recommend and the main tip is to come into med school with a flexible mentality that I am willing to change my study method and learn and re-scratch and retrain myself to learn how to study again for med school so that I can pass my exams and I can have sufficient knowledge to become a doctor. The second harsh truth, and the one that personally hurts the most: financial strain, especially if you're in London or just generally you're living out. This is not just for medical school, it's for other courses as well, and obviously it depends on your family situation, your living situation, but I am sure you can agree that most students in the UK that are going into university are going to be in some sort of financial strain, especially when they're living out, especially when they're in London. Even if you're not living out and you have to commute, you have to pay TfL prices, there is definitely a financial strain, and you're going to have to learn life skills like how to have financial literacy, how to understand how to save your money, how to allocate certain spending and funds on a weekly basis. And you're going to have to learn how to manage your own income, whether that's from a part-time job, whether that's from tutoring or from family or from student finance. You're going to learn how to be organized with your funds and your finances. For many students, and me included, student finance is not enough, especially if you're renting out, especially if you're in London. So you're going to have to learn how to find other resources to get money and finances from, whether that's going to the uni and asking if they have any grants or funds, whether that's having a part-time job or doing something, a gig on the side like tutoring. You're going to have that financial literacy, and that's something that you're going to need to prepare yourself for. Personally, I have a part-time job at uni. I work as a barista for around 6 to 12 hours a week, and that has been going very good. Thankfully, I've had a good environment and team around me. But it's definitely a reality that as a student you might have to work, and aside from that you're going to learn how to organize your time outside of work so that you are efficiently getting through your studying, your study materials, your lectures, and also having time to chill and relax because you do not want to burn out. So be open to considering things like that. Be open to learning more about financial literacy, which I'm personally nowhere near getting. I think one of my 2025 goals is to have financial literacy. The third harsh truth, and this is such an important thing, and that is delayed gratification. You really have to put in the work in med school for it to actually be fruitful and for you to see the results and the work that you put in. And you're gonna also have to learn how to enjoy the journey. Not only is it delayed gratification, but you can't be just suffering and struggling while you're studying. You're gonna have to learn how to make it enjoyable, how to have fun while studying, because this is your life from now on. Once you've started med school all the way until even after consultancy, you're going to have to be continuously learning and relearning new techniques, new technology. You're going to be happy seeing the results and the work that you've put in after a certain amount of time, and you're going to feel amazing. You're going to be like, thankfully, thank God I put all of that work in. And that is really important, because all that time that you're working, it might not be fun, it might not be enjoyable. That's why it's called delayed gratification. The fourth harsh truth of medicine, and this is linked to what I just mentioned about learning how to balance your life, and that is work and life balance. You'll struggle to balance your hobbies, etc. You'll struggle to meet friends, especially friends outside of med school, which I am struggling with now. I think especially if you're like me and you don't have a huge hobby that like you're really passionate about since you were a child, I've noticed that I've barely been like pursuing small hobbies that I like. For example, I love badminton, but I'm just never like competitive about it. So I've been struggling to actually put aside time to play and have fun and enjoy badminton. And only in summer when I start doing it again that I realize, oh my god, like I actually love this sport so much. So you really need to put in the effort to do things that maybe would have come easier to you during high school. Things like meeting friends, or just like playing sports that you enjoy, or doing anything like reading, for example, or art, etc. Anything like that, you're going to have to actually put time aside to do that in med school as a form of therapy to make yourself happy. So that work and life balance is going to be harder to achieve, especially with things like social media and distractions that are around you that make it really easy to just doom scroll and not actually do something that makes you actually happy. I think I started noticing the real big hit in terms of my work and life balance in third year. Even though everyone says it's kind of easier, I think with 9 to 5 placements, coming back home, feeling tired, not wanting to do much, but still also having to study, it's been hard trying to like still have fun in between. But I've been putting in effort to make plans with friends, for example on a lunch during placement, like lunch out with my friends around the area, or even like leaving placement a bit early and having like a nice dinner with my friends. Having these fun activities that you're excited for in the week makes the time go way nicer, makes your life way like easier and smoother, and you also still feel motivated to put in the work because you've also had time to relax and chill in a nice way. It's really hard to catch up with friends outside of medicine, but you have to put in that effort to be the one to send them messages, be like, hey guys, do you want to catch up? It's part of like how life is going to be as an adult later on as well, especially when you become a doctor. Like when we become doctors, we're literally not going to have any time, and we're going to be like working night shifts, morning shifts, whatever. So we're going to have to put in the effort to make time for our friends and catch up and send messages, friends and family. That's really important. Now, the next harsh truth is emotional toll. Med school is definitely going to be emotionally challenging, especially with all the other harsh truths that I mentioned before, like financial strain, work and life balance, having to change your study methods, struggling when you're studying. All of these things are going to have an emotional impact on you. And if you come into med school ready, you know that there's going to be an emotional impact, you know that you're going to deal with it and you're going to work through it one by one, and you're going to have different support networks like friends, family, then you're more prepared for that emotional toll and you're not shocked by it. You don't get burnt out first thing, because I think that's a really common thing that people come into med school with, not expecting it to be as emotionally challenging or with that much of an emotional toll, so that you actually end up over time burning out really easily. So it's important to have those support networks from the get-go, your friends, your family, your hobbies, things that you like to do to chill and relax. All of these things are really important for you to keep close and keep doing frequently and consistently, so you're able to handle the stresses of med school easily. And that's the nature of choosing medicine, that's the nature of any degree, I would say. But having a degree that you're passionate about is something that does help, and it means that you're going to want to put in that work, so it will help as well in the whole emotional aspect of it. Another harsh truth about medicine, especially in the UK, is the uncertainties about the NHS, about jobs, about finding places and spots for your specialties. There's definitely worries about competitiveness, the pay, the strikes, and there's so many people are thinking about leaving, going to different countries, and with that also comes the stress of applications. That is definitely another harsh truth about medicine, especially in the UK. In the end, I would say with this one is to just enjoy the journey. There's many options in life around you after med school. Focus on med school, focus on passing your exams and becoming a good doctor with good foundations, and after that you can think about what to do afterwards. Now, the next and last harsh truth that is also very valid, and that is the portfolio. Speaking about portfolio and stressing about improving your chances to become a certain specialty, especially if you're aiming for a competitive specialty, things like research, like teaching hours, extra courses or extra degrees like masters and PhD. A lot of people say in 4th year and 5th year that they wish they'd started early on. That was something they didn't really think about, but later on now they're really stressed about it and it's like a big weight on their mind. I'm not gonna lie, I think first year is very early to think about it, so you can like chill and relax in first year, you don't have to really worry about that. But once you hit second year, I think that's when you kind of have to start being more aware of what's needed for you once you enter specialty, and once like you enter the system, how are you going to open doors for yourself. So yeah, there's many things like research, like networking opportunities, like teaching sessions that you can get involved in societies within your uni, so you can help yourself out, help future you out by trying to be more proactive with these aspects. If you take it step by step, I think it alleviates the pressure on yourself and you can kind of take it slowly and take it easy with yourself. So these are my main 6 harsh truths that I faced in med school and I think are worth preparing preparing yourself for so that you can actually enjoy med school. This is not to discourage anyone. I am in med school and I'm really enjoying it. Like, generally I cannot imagine doing anything else, and if you're learning about these harsh truths now and you're preparing yourself for them mentally, then you are on the right track. So I hope you found this video helpful. If you have any questions or any tips or advice that you'd like, please comment them down below. Thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye bye.